If you put a gun to my head, here's what I would do to add 100K a month to pretty much any business. And the way I've learned this is by working with 300 plus businesses and pretty much just realizing that at any given moment, there are a few key levers that you can pull that can pretty much inject revenue very, very quickly. And there's specific things that we've done on a monthly basis, or I've done on a monthly basis with a few specific clients, where just by doing one of the things I'm about to cover in this video, we've added like 20K a month with just a few hours per week. Some other examples of that, some of my other clients, like Oscar went from 10K to 7 figures, and Angus went from 6K to 103K. We had Jake go from 15K a month to 100K a month. We have Max Sturt, who's absolutely dominating right now. He's pretty much tripled his business since working with us. So for context here, I'm talking about service-based businesses as well. So anyone who's running a sort of an agency or some sort of coaching program or even a software as well, these lessons will pretty much apply. This is just stuff you can do to sell more right now. Like if your pipeline is dry, do this right now, do these couple of things I'm about to cover, and you're pretty much going to make more money. So that's just that. In terms of the first strategy, this one might take a while for it to work, but once it does, it's pretty much one of the highest ROI things you can do for any business. And that is just to start posting one full-length YouTube video per day. It might sound like a lot of work, but all you need to do is screen share some kind of Miro board, create some sort of document, and just teach them something. When we started doing this for our own business, when we first launched 1000X Leads in February, we collected like 250K in the first month, just basically off organic YouTube traffic. The key there is, though, you need to be careful that there's a very specific type of content that sells, and there's a type of content that gets views, and we want to be somewhere in the middle of those two things. You don't want to necessarily go ahead and say, you don't need views, but what I mean when I say that is that it's more important to sell than it is to get views. I would rather make high-level content that gets 50 views than make some viral BS that gets 1 million views. However, in saying that, that does not mean that you just go ahead and make some boring content that nobody wants to see. If your content doesn't get views, you might as well have done nothing if no one watches it. So we need to find that balance between making it sexy but selling at the same time. So what I'll cover here is the alpha that these YouTube strategist guys will not tell you, because I know a lot of these YouTube guys will say, make this viral topic or talk about this and you'll get a bunch of views. But like I said, there's a very specific finesse that you need to have to get views and clients at the same time. Very specific. So when it comes to the ideas and the topics that you want to talk about, first things first, what you need to do is basically look at the channels that are doing well in your niche. This is what the YouTube strategists will do, but look at channels like Hormozy, look at channels like even Alex Becker has been posting recently, and just look at the exact titles that they are using. You'll find things like 56 minutes of the best XYZ training you'll ever see, and things like 3 hours of no BS advice, or, what's another example? Another example might be brutal truths about X, or cold email was hard until you see this, and things like that, where they have there's a specific way that you want to write these titles, and there's a specific way that you want to make these thumbnails and these topics and how you speak about these things. We've got like 100 of these examples inside of 1000X Leads, but what you can do is go to these channels that are pretty much dominating and go and check them out and just see how they title their videos. Because what you can do is you can go ahead and recreate these exact videos without necessarily having to go on Mr. Beast's channel. You just want to go to these high-level education channels and then basically just follow the title structure and recreate that idea in your industry. So let's say you do email marketing. You might just do, here's how to make XYZ amount of money moderately fast. I know Max Sturt made that video. Or you might do, how to make a killer YouTube video. Or that's what Brian did. Brian NG, one of our clients, did that. You can also use things from what I just said. You might be in another niche where you might say, here's how to make a killer cold email campaign. So all of a sudden you're using these business topics and slapping an optimized YouTube setup on it. And all of a sudden you're going to do much, much better than, going and doing like a productivity video or something that, a YouTube person tells you to make. And then the other thing is as well, this is the absolute mother of all bombs when it comes to making good YouTube videos. And it's just getting a remarkable result for a client or yourself and then just saying how I got this result exactly. That's probably one of Matt's best videos. You said, here's how I got to 900K a month. And that got us a ton of sales. So if you've got remarkable results, just make a video about that. Then when it comes to the structure, all you need to do is show the track record of the results you've gotten, show the overview of the video in the first couple of seconds, first 30 seconds, and then basically just go through the process step by step. So an example of that might have been, here's how I got to 900K a month. In this video, I'm going to be covering the offers, the paid ad strategy, the lead gen strategy, the sales strategy, etc. And then you just go through each of those things step by step with examples and case studies from each of those steps. So for example, if you do a 10-step process to get a result for a client and the video is all about that result, just say, first off, we did, we got the leads. Second of all, we made the scripts. Third of all, we made the offers, whatever it may be. And then you just talk about each of those steps, what you did, give examples. And that's literally the easiest thing. That's all you need to do for a B2B YouTube channel when you're trying to sell to high level buyers. And if you can get 1,000 to 3,000 views per video, you can make a lot of money from that channel, because it doesn't take that much to get really well known in the exact niche you're trying to get into. Like I said, you don't need to get 20,000 views to get really well known within a specific niche, because as long as you're making the videos about topics that your customers click and that are likely to show up on your customers' algorithm and show up on their For You page or whatever, or the homepage on YouTube, you're going to do very, very well. Then the other thing is, this is a really juicy one that made us a lot of money as well, is I have 2 bonus hacks for your YouTube channel. So what you can do is you can go ahead and send these videos manually to your old leads, and that re-engages them in the funnel, and it gives them some actual value instead of just saying, some stupid shit like, hey, just following up. You can send them specific YouTube videos that will resonate based on their channel. Based on based on the call you had with them. So if you had a call with them, you had some sort of discussion with them, and then you have a bunch of YouTube videos made, you can say, hey, I know we discussed getting your paid ad strategy up and rolling. Here's a quick video we made that you should check out. It'll help you with X, Y, and Z. That follow-up is about 100 times better than saying just following up. Then the second bonus hack that we actually used at the start when we first launched 1000X, if you have no search rankings for your company name, then put your company name in your YouTube name and it will rank really well on Google search. So when you send your cold emails, when you run your paid ads, people look up your company, people look you up. If you have your company name in your YouTube title, because YouTube is Google, it ranks ridiculously highly. So what happens is they see your cold email, they Google your company name, then they see, you're dropping a bunch of value on your YouTube channel, and it basically just makes your entire funnel work way, way better. Which then brings me to my next strategy, which is if I really had to make a shit ton of money, like ASAP, I would start sending 5,000 cold emails per day. And basically an easy way to do that is just to start offering free work on those cold emails and then trying to upsell everyone that took the free trial. I know some people are like, oh my God, doing free work, I don't want to do that. But it kind of just is the reality where when you do free work, it's just like if you've got a bit of a track record and you have some kind of risk reduction in that you're a good business already, and you're not just kind of asking for, hey, can I work for you for free because I want to learn from you, and you actually offer the free work with a value proposition, it becomes much easier to say yes, get your foot in the door, and it kind of just acts as the best lead magnet of all time, or it kind of acts as a manual lead magnet in a way. So if you can make the numbers work out where maybe you get 10 people on a free trial and you convert 3 of them, your LTV, as in the lifetime value of those 3 that you end up converting, will be so much higher than the cost of doing the 10 free trials that you end up just making money in the long term. So it ends up working out. What I'll do is I'll also link down below. I've got a couple of videos about not only how to set up these types of free work deals, but I'll also link below how you can set up the cold email system that can send like 5,000 cold emails a day, because there is a little bit of a technical setup, so you can check that video out after this one. But moving on, going to the third strategy, the third one I had in mind was building like a case study funnel. So if you remember when I was talking about when you got a remarkable result for a client or even for yourself, you create like a 20 to 40 minute video breaking down that result. And then instead of just having it as an organic YouTube video, you can also run ads to it on Facebook. We did this for one of our clients like quite a while ago, and he's been using it to book 50 to 120-ish sales calls for about a year. So for about a year, he's been booking 50 plus sales calls a month and signing, 10 to 20 really, really, really qualified clients from that funnel just from one of these case study funnels. The thing you need to keep in mind, though, is that you need to just basically remember the exact steps you took for a client. And then essentially what you want to do is articulate exactly why you did each of those specific steps in that specific way. So it's not necessarily saying, hey, everyone, you need to go and do these steps. It's just saying, yeah, well, we set up this lead magnet in this specific way with this specific idea. And the reason we did that was because we actually wanted to attract really qualified clients instead of just having something that was really broad. So we used it in this way. So what I did just then was basically just giving them that exact, like the logic behind the step and not just giving the step. It makes it much more convincing. And it basically just makes them understand that it's really important, and it helps sell the prospects on your process, and then they can understand kind of your expertise, get really sold on your method, and also builds that authority and that kind of frame where you know what you're doing and they're not going to question you. And if you sell it properly, they'll get on the call and they'll basically just say, hey, I saw what you did for this company. I understand that you did these things for these reasons. I'd love to hear what you have to say about our funnels or about our ads or about our emails, just because when you give the logic, it's not like surface level information. You're actually giving high level shit that attracts high level clients. Like I said, like you need to position this in the way where you're coming off as the expert. All of a sudden, instead of attracting like complete brokies on your on your calls, you end up getting like your dream brands because you're just talking about results you've gotten and exactly how you did it. Another example of this, in terms of exactly how to talk about each step, you might say something like, well, first we set up the cold email domains, and the reason we did 20 of them instead of just sending them all from one domain is because that allows us to circumnavigate the sending limits placed on us by platforms like Google. So something even just simple like that essentially just allows you to say there is a complete rhyme and reason to everything we do, and if you don't do it our way, it's not going to work as well. So when you have that positioning, like I said, they get on the call and they're much warmer, and they just understand what you do a little bit better than if you went with the traditional book a call funnel or the traditional VSL funnel, where you're trying to sell them on these steps anyway in a regular VSL funnel. But when you talk about it with the examples and with the logic of the results you've already gotten for a client, it becomes much more attractive for people to kind of just take steps towards you. Then what you want to do is, so you have the steps, repeat that process for all the steps, then just chuck a CTA at the end, or just pitch the prospects that, you know, if they want a similar result, give them a free audit, give them some sort of free value at the end of the call when they book in. And really all you need to do, write down all those steps in some sort of presentation, record yourself talking over it, host it on a ClickFunnels page that just says headline, video, book a call, and then add your case studies below it. You should be able to set that up. If you're watching this channel, you're probably pretty deep on this sort of thing already. So just do that. It'll work. Book a call button. And then in the ads, you can literally just say something like, hey, we took this brand from X to Y and Z days. This was without pain. All we did was 1, 2, 3. I just made an XYZ minute breakdown of exactly how we did it. We cover the exact offers, landing pages, and email flows we use. Just check it out, the link below. It's free. And that'll probably work pretty good. Like that's the extent of the ads that you need to make. It works pretty much like clockwork, and that's literally just off the top of my head. So you can probably make a better ad than that if you go and take that framework and then add a bit of spritz to it, add your case studies to it. But that's really just the general idea. The ad is just a teaser VSL that sends traffic to the main VSL, or the ad is basically just a short video sales letter. Then the main case study video is kind of just a longer, more drawn out, kind of a webinar style VSL. And if you can get your cost down to, or your cost per call to about $50 to $150, which is kind of the range that you would fluctuate in, especially if you're more optimized, you'll be at $50. If you're more of a beginner and your messaging isn't as good, or maybe your case study isn't as good itself, it'll push a little bit higher. But if you can stay in that range, you're pretty much good to go. And the logic there is that if you're booking calls for $150, your close rate might be, your close rate might be 20%, let's say, if you're not that good at sales. So all of a sudden you're, $500 or $600 CAC. That's not bad. Like that's not bad, because your LTV, you're probably going to get paid a few $1,000s a month. If you can keep your clients, LTV is going to be north of 10K. You're looking at a 10 to 1, LTGP, lifetime gross profit to CAC ratio. So if you have that, at this point, you've got YouTube videos that are spamming traffic and nurturing your old leads. You've got cold emails sending 5,000 per day, and we're running ads to a case study funnel as well. look, that'll get you some leads pretty quickly. So you're well on the way to getting to that 100K a month added. But the next strategy is a little bit of a two-pronged approach. So the first part is that you want to create something we call an intro offer. That is basically just some sort of specific setup or specific build or specific improvement to a certain aspect of the client's business that you can sell just to get your foot in the door. So for example, at Matt's agency, he got that up to 900K a month. Instead of selling conversion rate optimization for like 8K a month, 10K a month up front, he would sell 1 to 3 landing pages for like between $2,000 to $5,000. And he would just guarantee that it's going to convert. Then after they basically go through that offer, if you get results, it's pretty easy to upsell them because they've already got the result. You just kind of suggest like, hey, what are you doing for this moving forward? And then you can push them towards the sales process for the recurring offer. And what it does is it attracts more leads because it's more of a no-brainer. You can fulfill it pretty quickly, between like 7 to 21 days. And then you can sell your recurring offer to a larger pool of people who are also warm leads because they already trust you. It's kind of like a process where you take a cold lead and they become almost like a referral because you put them through this thing that's a productized offer. You can deliver it at scale. It's really, really sexy to your prospects. Then you have this big pool of clients where it's like, oh, they've already bought from me before, and I can just kind of direct them towards my next offer. I think it was, I don't know who said it, but someone said the easiest people to sell are the people who have already bought from you. And that is super, super true. So the whole point of the intro offer is you create something that's really, really sexy, get a lot of people to buy it. You don't even have to make money on it. You're just trying to build this pool of trust where you can market to people, get them in as cold leads, then you have the pool, then you can sell them your recurring offer. And the reason it's so much easier is because when you're trying to sell a recurring offer to someone, it's really tough for them to buy in. It's tough for them to say, yeah, I want to sign up for $8,000 a month to do CRO, or I want to sign up for $5,000 a month to do, email marketing or whatever it may be. And that is why you see a lot of people that run successful agencies. They can sell really well to referrals. They can sell really well to inbound leads from content, but they really struggle to sell to cold leads. And it's usually because of that. It's hard to sell a recurring offer. So we put the intro offer on the front end, then sell them the recurring afterwards. Works really well, to be honest. Like it's dominated for our clients. Like our clients who have been at 20K a month will come in and sell 20K worth of intro offers in a week, just a couple of months after starting. And really you can replicate this with any sort of service like email flow setups, cold email setups, selling a stack of ad creatives, selling some kind of audit or some sort of result. Anything where you can get the client a result for between 2 to 5K, you're going to be pretty good to go. Really, the only important thing you have to keep in mind is that the result and getting the result is 10x as important as what you actually do. You just have to sell the result and then convince them that you are going to get the result. So it's just outcome, here's how I'm going to get it. So outcome, guarantee, proof, track record, whatever it is that you have to say to convince them that you are going to get it. And not just that you have to say, but you have to be able to get the result as well. Then you'll be good to go. As long as you can get them that ROI, it's going to work, and your upsell rate is going to be 10 to 30% in terms of the number of people who buy the intro offer who then become recurring clients. You're looking for about 10 to 30%, and it will vary based on your service, based on how well your intro offer is a natural lead in to your recurring offer. Meaning if you say, I want to do an intro offer for paid ads, and then the recurring offer is email marketing, the lead in is a little bit wrong. So it's just about that, how well it upsells to the recurring offer and the results. So if you get good results, you should be pretty much good to go. Then the second part of this kind of two-pronged approach that I would try and, just sprint to 100K a month added is I would go ahead and get all of their old leads on the phone, call, email, text sequences, email blasts, etc. And I would send them to my intro offer. So anyone that you've booked a call with and not closed, anyone in your DMs, anyone on cold email platforms that responded positively but weren't that interested, anyone that you've ever talked to in your entire existence of your agency, these ones will be the most likely to close. Also, if you have an email newsletter, you can blast it to your list, things like that. We have a bunch of scripts we use for our clients, but I'm just going to gatekeep them, so don't worry about that. If you want them, just join 1000X. We'll give you all that sort of stuff. However, I will give you these two scripts. So for the ones that booked a call, for the prospects that booked a call, reach out on a personalized basis and say something to the tune of like, hey, we talked a little while ago, but we didn't move forward due to ABC. I wanted to reach out again because we've been getting results like XYZ for clients like ABC since we last spoke. Is it worth chatting about how we can guarantee you specific result? Easy. That'll get you some leads. The second one, this is more of like a blast or like something you'd blast out to a massive list of positive responses to cold emails that didn't follow through, or if you have an email list, things like that. Things to the tune of like, hey, we recently helped, case study, we recently helped this company get this result. We did this by process 1, process 2, and process 3. We also included a risk reduction, and we also use mechanism to get specific result with a guarantee. Are you free in the next 2 days to discuss something similar and how that would look for you? Really simple. It's just going to turn out to be like, hey, we recently helped this brand reduce their CPA by 10% using our new creative process where we test hooks, we vary the body and we vary the CTA. By doing this, we're able to get specific result and actually guarantee it. Are you free in the next 2 days to see how that would look? If you can use something like that, blast it to your list with an optimized offer, you are going to be more than good to go. You are going to get some leads, let me tell you. And like I said, this specific thing that I just told you, we used that to add 20K MRR for one of our clients in like 2 hours. Just because we would go into their pipeline, we'd get the scripts that we use internally, we just roll out the SOP, and pretty much just by doing that, just by going into the CRM, we were able to like mine about 20K of MRR just by doing that. All it is a matter of getting that intro offer, getting those scripts, blasting them out, and having a good track record as well. Because if you don't get results for people, you're absolutely screwed either way. But it's kind of just one of those reminders where the money is in the follow-up. You will make so much money by doing this. It's literally insane. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for this video. If you like this video and you want more of this type of content where it's just how to make more money with an agency, you might be a good fit for 1000x leads. You can check that out down below. We give you basically all the tools, SOPs, trainings, and support that basically has helped us scale agencies to 7 to 8 figures. Or just keep watching the YouTube channel. There's a bunch more videos like this. I'm sure you'll like them. So see you in the next one.